Good afternoon. This is Jenny Gee coming to you on this gorgeous Friday, blue sky, beautiful day. And I want to talk to you not about anything that we're seeing in the daytime right now, but I want to talk to you about what I've heard people talk about and didn't really know anything about. And so I wanted to look into it. And that is this supermoon phenomenon that I think the word has been used in the past couple years more than I ever remember it being used before. So I'm here in my driveway and I want to show you what a supermoon is. And even though we just experienced one on July 3rd, the night of July 3rd, that we will be experiencing 3 more in the next 3 full moons. And just to kind of give you some background on what a supermoon is, so you can look for it. We have not had our superest of supermoons yet, so wanted to just chat with you about this today, and then take some time to go out on a clear night like tonight and look at the moon as it is, because it's still in a way, even though it's not full, it's still kind of a supermoon, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to turn my camera around because I sidewalk chalk today. All right, so I am not I'm not good at drawing things in real, what's the word? Real evenly. But here is my version of the orbit the moon takes around the Earth. Now, I don't have the Earth in the center of that orbit, but that's on purpose because the Earth is not in the center of the moon's orbit. It is off to one side. My drawing is probably slightly exaggerated, but it is indeed how we, close to, what our orbit is like. It's elliptical. It's not round, and that's not by my mistake either. It's elliptical. It's more elliptical than my drawing because my drawing has a bunch of lumps and bumps in it. But to get this idea of the when the moon is over here and full, it is the furthest away from the Earth. And when it's over here, and it is its closest that it is to the Earth. So what we had in July 3rd is our full moon showing up at its closest distance to a close distance to the Earth. What they call a supermoon is when the moon is within 90% of its closest, so it doesn't have to be absolutely at its closest approach to the Earth throughout the time. And it's like on between a 13 and 14 month cycle as far as when it's going to continually show up at that close connection. And then beyond that, it'll move along that orbit and show up as a full moon. It'll always be coming back and be close to the Earth again, but not as a full moon. See, that's kind of the difference. It might be a half moon and close, but not necessarily a full moon and close. Does that make sense? So the Earth, the moon makes this orbit every, every 28 and a half days, or 28 and something like that, 28 something days and some percent. It does that each month, right? So, but there are times when it's over here and it's full. That's the supermoon. When eventually in that 28 and a half days, 28 and whatever days, it'll come back here. But for us, we might be looking as as a quarter moon or less than full. Anyway, all right, so that's that. So here are some of the numbers. Scientists will tell us too, you're not going to really notice a huge difference in the size of the moon. If photographs are taken at the same distance and placed side by side, there is a difference, but to our eye, it's less noticeable. It might be a little bit more noticeable as it's rising on the horizon. If you are able to get to a spot and watch the moon rise and see that, you might notice it to be a little bit larger than it typically is. And they say it's anywhere between 8%, like around 8% larger. But it could be about 16% brighter. So a supermoon is brighter. So if you felt like last week on Monday night that it seemed like a really bright moon. It really was. It was a very bright moon. So, but here are some of the numbers I just want to share with you, just to give you an idea. So I wrote these down because I knew I couldn't remember them. Average distance of the moon to our Earth is this 238,900 miles away. On July 3rd, the moon was 224,895 miles away. Now we're going to have other supermoons all in a row. So August 1st, it'll be 222,158 miles away. And our closest supermoon of 2023 is going to happen on August 30th, and it is only going to be 222,043 miles away. So that one is the superest of the supermoons. And then we'll have one more supermoon, remember, falling within that 90% of its closest approach, 224,658 miles away on September 28th. Now, to compare that, I had said that the moon could be about 16% brighter as a supermoon. If you look at what a micromoon is when the moon is at its furthest distance from the Earth, so not there, but there, and shows up as a full moon. That happened this past February, 252,171 miles away. Now, between that February moon and that August 30th moon, scientists tell us it could be up to 30% brighter. So what's kind of amazing to me, and I wanted to talk about this today, one, because you may have heard people referring to the supermoon and maybe you knew all about what it was. I wasn't really sure. I had a feeling it had something to do with its brightness and its distance and all of that, but I just really wasn't sure all the details of that. So went and read about that a little bit this week. But I think it's just so amazing to me when you think about how everything in the universe is constantly in motion and constantly moving, and our universe is expanding away. And yet every night during those certain months of the year when we look up in the sky, we see those same constellations kind of in the same place. And even though we're all moving, we all seem to be moving sort of in unison with each other. And the distance of the moon's, or the distant the moon is from the Earth, is so static. Now, it's not completely static. Scientists do tell us that the moon is moving every year a little bit further away. And I don't remember exactly how far that was, but it was like a centimeter and a half or something like that. It was a small distance. But because space probes that have gone up onto the moon have placed mirrors there, they're able to shine a laser light and then watch its return, and they're able to calculate down to that amount of a centimeter or so the distance that is changing. So the moon is very slowly moving a little further away from the Earth, but that orbit is staying consistent enough to affect our tides in a lot of the same ways, and all of that. And I just think that's such a miracle, and that we as the Earth are staying basically at the same distance, and our time to go around the sun is staying consistent and has throughout the centuries, the millennia, is just amazing to me. And that our temperatures, as far as our distance from the sun, can remain somewhat steady, just taking distance into account. So that is always amazing to me. Everything just seems to be operating in such a precise and perfect manner. And I think that points to our good and creative and amazing God. And I think the more we know about these things and the more we can just think about the preciseness of it all, the more we can appreciate it and hopefully take care of it, right, of our Earth. So I hope you have a good rest of this gorgeous Friday, and maybe stop out to Broadview Heights Home Days, because the church will have a booth out there. We're doing photos for people, and then I'll see you in church on Sunday, hopefully. Take care. See you soon.